stuff. So this is what I do. The trick is for an alternative for this step. If you don't know how to do the higher high and higher low, you don't know how to detect them. Alternative for this is to use a zigzag indicator. You change the depth. The tweak is change the depth to 5. The deviation, you change it to 1. Then your back step, leave it at 3. Then you apply. You see, did exact same thing that I drew earlier. So this is a low, higher high, higher low. So these things are noise. You can actually remove. It's still the same thing, saying the same. So as at this point, market was here. So predicting that to make a higher high. So as you can see, it's made a higher high. It made a higher high. So that's just it. That's it. So the next rule, do we still have the rule? I'm not sure. Let me copy the rule and paste again. Copy the rule and paste on the group. And we will action. All right. The next rule. I hope that made sense. Type 1 on the chat box if that makes sense. If you understand how to apply the indicator, yeah, how to apply the indicator. If that makes sense, type 1 on the chat box. Then, okay. Yes. Thank you. All right. Then the next thing to determine is to set a pending order, and everyone should know how to set a pending order by now. It's a price stop. You go on your MT4, you select a pending order, bar stop, put the entry price, set your stop loss, and put your take profit. The risk reward is 1:1. If you are risking 50 pips as a stop loss, your reward should be 50 pips. So, no big deal. So, if it's a sell, the reverse is going to be the case. If it's a sell, and let me do an example for a sell. So, example for a sell would be, okay, this is an example for a sell. This is the day that this day that would have sold this GBP USD. And this time was on the 8th of March. Now let's locate our 9 a.m. candle, GMT, 8 a.m. UTC, 3 a.m. Eastern. So this is our, okay, 9. Here's the candle right here. The candle here. This particular one. This is it. You locate the high. This is the tip. This is the open. This is the close. And this is the low right here, the low. Okay. That being said, now let me place this thing. First, you locate the high. Let's take this away first. Take that. Then we locate the low. 10 pip. You have to, since it's a sell, you are predicting it's going to be a sell. You have to take it 5 pip below the low. And remember, this is our low. Since we are predicting a sell, 5 pip below, then this is going to be 5. So 5 pip right there to move your 5 pip. So this first candle, this candle that opened 10 a.m. to close by 11 would have triggered your sell. Then you'd have been in the trade. Then it pull back. See, it didn't hit your stop loss. Then this will be your stop loss. This high will be the stop loss. Okay, thank you. This high will be the stop loss. See, it came back down, but it never hit you. Then you're still in money. You're still in the money. So you have to calculate your risk reward. Your risk reward is 1:1. 1:1. If you're risking 50, just as I've said earlier, so if you're risking, that's your reward. Okay, this is 31 pip risk. You have to take 31 pip, 31. Don't get greedy with this. As time goes on, I will teach you how to maximize your profit, how to drill it, and ride on and on. So you put your TP right here. Put your TP 1:1. So once this candle, so by 5 a.m. Nigeria time, you should be out of this trade. You've gotten your profit. This is what I do. It's what I've been doing for the past 3 months. I've been gaining consistent profit. Consistent profit. Nothing less than $600 every day if you are using a standard Nothing less, nothing less than that. That is what I get every day, every day. So someone wants to ask a question. I heard a voice. Any question? Okay. Believe that should be no. So you already know how to set a buy and a sell. So your stop loss, you know the rule, the number 6 rule, your risk reward, and we're done. We're done. Okay, you say, Jeff, how about that sell stop that is triggered? Okay, okay. What to do? You have a sell stop that is triggered. I don't understand what you're saying, Marco. Maybe you should unmute yourself and speak. And speak. Let's hear you. Unmute yourself and speak.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Jeff, my question, let me just go outside because of the noise.
I can't hear you. I can barely hear you. It's faint and that place is noisy.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you better.
Okay, Jeff. So this is the thing. There in the beginning, you were showing that candle, that 9 o'clock candle, very close to the end. If you go with your mouse, yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, oh, yeah, no, yeah, around there, the 9 o'clock candle.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 9 o'clock
Yeah,
candle.
if the sell, yeah, if the sell, if we know, as you can see, it went for a buy,
Yeah.
and we put 5 pips below it, the red candle is gonna trigger it, and we're gonna lose, isn't it?
No, no. Okay, I understand your question. I understand your question. Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just mute. Just unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Let me explain that.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you. Thank you very much, man.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful question. I understand what he's
God
trying to
bless,
say.
man.
Okay. Understand. Okay. What he's asking is, since we've set a stop, our stop loss right here, and our entry is here, and this is our take profit. Since this candle has already touched this line, if we are not running at loss, no, no, we are not running at loss. A pending order, you are not in the trade, not until your entry price is triggered. All these candles, even this is the okay, this is the 9 a.m. candle to close by 10. This is the candle you set your stuff. In this time, with this candle, you are not in the trade. With this candle, you are not in the trade. Though it hits your stop loss line, you are not in the trade yet. Not until this line is triggered. That's what we call pending orders. Pending orders are orders that are set above or below the market price, expecting the market price to hit it and do what you predicted it to do. Those are pending orders. So as at this point, when the market even hits you here, you're not in the trade. Not until the candle goes to your entry price to trigger you and come back down to hit your stop loss. That is when you're going to be affected. But in this case, hitting your stop loss when you're not in the trade yet, you're not affected. You're not affected. I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, if I answered your question, just type Y on the chat box. Okay, 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 Sanchez. Yes, I use the higher high as buy as if I use the higher high as buy stop. Mm, if I understand what you mean, okay, now let me explain what I. Okay, loving it. I know that 9 a.m. can do that. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, now let me explain, Marco. Not the higher high as buy stop. What I do is I try to determine what the trend is. So remember, we are technical analysts. So we try to look at what the price has done in the past to predict what it might likely do in the future. It is triggered to enter trade. Yes, this entry line, this dotted magenta line needs to be triggered before you can be in the trade. Just as you can see, this candle after the 9 a.m. candle didn't touch the magenta line. Not until this bullish shaving candle came up. This 15, the one showing 15 right here, came up to hit it. That is when you entry. See, when he hit it, you are straight profit until he hit. Even only this candle gave you a profit. So you could actually move your stop loss to this point and take your take profit up to gain this profit. That will be a topic for another day. Maybe I'll just do a webinar and share the video later. I don't know the time. I don't know the time yet. So I'm just saying how to maximize your profit. But now take one-to-one risk reward. Okay. So for what I was explaining before, I was talking about the higher high. We predict future prices based on what has happened in the past. So we try to determine the trend, the current trend. Just as you can see, this is an uptrend. Now let me pull out my trend line. It's an uptrend. It's just an uptrend. From this point to this point, you see, it's an up. The market is going up. Just as we all know, trend line also acts as support and resistance. In this case, it's acting as a support. See this candle? Whenever this candle gets to when this candlestick gets to this place, you see it chased them back, chased them back, chased them back, chased them back, and it came here, it tested again. It saw this, it chased it back again, and it came back here, it tested it, it chased it back again, and came back right down here. So whenever you see this thing, whenever you draw your trend line, you know the high tendency that the price will go up. Hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense and itself. Okay. For us in Nigeria, should we take the time on MT4 or our time here? It's the time on MT4, of course. If I understand what you mean, if we take the time on it, this is in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, of course, just as you know. So this is the candle you work with. Now, since there was a time change, so you have to work with this candle. Whenever you point on it, it's showing 10 a.m. Yes, 10 a.m. What it simply means, this candle is going to close by 10. It's showing you close time, but the candle actually opened by 9 to close by 10, which was not so before. Okay, Sanchez said, Jeff, can you show us the time passed for that entry? I want to know how many hours or minute passed between order placed and entry point. Okay, you want to know the entry, the time you have to spend before it triggered, right? Is that the question? The time you have to spend. Okay, okay, okay. This was the candle. Okay, this was the candle we worked with. No, this because this is an hour. We work with this. Then we start counting from here. 1 hour, second hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, the fifth hour. So it was triggered on the fifth hour, and the fifth candle gave you your profit. So you can actually so far you are right. You can leave it for the whole day. Let it run. Let it run. I shared a testimony of how my GBP JPY I entered the strategy. I did strategy yesterday, GBP JPY. Others gave me profit, but GBP JPY was moving so sluggishly. I never knew what happened to JPY pairs. That was yesterday. So I had my profit this morning. Yeah, because it would definitely give you your risk reward. It must definitely give you one-to-one risky reward. That's certain. That's certain. Is there any question? Any more question? I believe everything is making sense and it's clear. It's clear. Okay, Mako said yes. So what is it? Shoot your question. What red line? What red line? Is it this? Can you unmute yourself and speak? Mako.
Yes, Jeff. Yes, it's
This
that one.
okay, that this very one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think it's time I clear this thing so we understand better. Understand better.
Oh man,
This
so yeah. Sorry. I just it's a lot to take in, so I forget sometimes, and I'm trying now to review everything in my head what you just said.
all right,
Start
all right.
makes sense, and then I forgot about this red line.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is a support or resistance line that we use to indicate the low of the candle. This is where your stop loss. If you are setting a buy, this is where your stop loss will be. This is of this candle. This is where the stop will be. This is the stop. Remember the
So
rules. You can go back and read the rules. The stop is
yeah. The stop loss, you mean?
yes. Whenever I say stop, I mean stop loss. Yes, stop loss. This is the
Stop
stop
loss. Okay.
loss. This is the take profit. This is the
Yeah.
entry.
Right. And what's the blue one down below?
Which this blue one,
No, not the other one. The other one, Jeff. The straight one.
this one.
No. The below this diagonal blue line,
Oh,
there's a horizontal one.
all right. It's a trend line. It's a trend line. To determine the trend, this is what this is my analysis that I did that made me to know it's going to be a buy, that the market might likely buy. It's just to do your analysis.
Jeff, it's not that one. It's the other blue one. This one that you haven't deleted. Yeah,
Oh,
that one. That one.
okay. It's nothing. It's nothing. I just put it there.
Oh.
It's not.
Oh man, now it's going around my head.
Yeah.
And what's that blue line? Okay, I got it now. I got it. But Jeff, one more thing. So
Okay.
if the red line is triggered as a stop loss, we will stop the trade, isn't it? We're gonna lose, but everything got stopped, isn't it?
No, no. Mark, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I
Please
hear
carry on.
you? Now let me explain slowly and carefully. This is the candle that we are working with. Can you see this candle? Can you see my cursor?
Yes, I
All
can
right.
see.
This green candle is the 9 a.m. candle in GMT, which is 8 a.m. in the UK. This candle, whenever you place by 9 a.m. on the dot, you should have placed your order. This will be your entry. In fact, as a matter of fact, let me type this out so we will understand. This would be the entry. This is the entry point. That is 10 pip above the high of the 9 a.m. candle, my time. This is going to be your stop, this red line. Your stop loss. It's going to be your stop. Let's make it red. Your stop is always red. All right. To be your stop, this line, this number right here. So your stop is going to be 1.38780. Your entry will be 1.39069. Then your take profit will be 1-to-1 risk reward. If you are risking 50 pip between, if the difference between the entry and the stop is 50, then you should take 50. But in this case, first let's label the upper part before. Then this is going to be your take profit. Take profit. Then let's label this blue. So all together. So you are not in the trade, not until you are entered into the trade. And the candle that you can see, this was so close to it, but it never triggered you. Not until the candle passes this magenta dotted line, you are not in the trade. You are not, your broker still leave your trade as pending. Now let me do a screenshot on my phone of a pending orders I have, and I'll use that to explain to you, because I still have some pending orders with me that has not been triggered yet. I'll send that to the group shortly for a better understanding. Okay. In one of Jeff, in one of your videos, to determine a buy or sell after drawing the zigzag, you join two highs together to cross the 9 a.m. candle. 20 plus, okay. To also confirm where the trend should go. Okay. Please, can you explain that joining if the highs or low point to cross the reference candle? Okay. I think I understand. Okay, Marco. Okay, very good. Thank God. I'm glad you understand. Okay. I'm glad you understand. Okay, Marco. I'm glad you understand that. Joseph Bassi. Okay. If I understand your question, and what you're saying is, oh, a lot of chat now. Okay, if I understand your question, you said there was a time I tried to. Okay, one thing you should know with these strategies or with drawing trend and doing trend analysis is you have to follow candlestick rules. Candlestick has rules. Like we have crown pattern. Yes, there's a crown pattern, head and shoulder pattern. There are various patterns. So that's what I was trying to do on that video, just to determine the trend. But with this zigzag thing, you don't need to crack your brain. With this zigzag thing, Whenever you are seeing it's a downtrend, if you make a lower low, the next thing is to make a lower high. So if the current count is a lower low, so you have to predict a lower high. If it's an uptrend, if it make a higher high, the next thing is to make a higher low. So if the current candle is on a higher high, the next thing is to predict a low, that is a sell. Let's say, for instance, if we're on this time on this trade was on the 6th of March. Okay, this it's an uptrend. It's an uptrend. Hope you all agree. It's an uptrend. You see what happened right here? So the market is going up. This high was higher than this. This high was higher than this. This was higher than this. So it's an uptrend. Remember the definition of an uptrend: when they will have consecutive higher highs and higher lows moving upward. So it's an uptrend. If I bring out a trend line to draw this, you see the market was moving straight up ahead, and up ahead. Okay, that makes sense. So that being said, on the 6th of March, if we were to use this strategy, we are going to locate our 9 a.m. candle. This is our 9 a.m. candle. And you see this as zigzag thing. It came on this point and it was here. So since we know it's an uptrend, it has a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. The next thing is to what? To form a higher high. So you should be predicting a buy. Hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, type Y on the chat box. I believe that should make sense now. That should make sense. So this zigzag thing has helped us to eliminate the stress. Sanchez, he says someone is eating in chat. All right, all right. Okay. I hope that makes sense. If there's any question, you can hit me up on my private chat. You can hit me up on my private chat. You can hit me up on my private chat. All right, you can hit me up at any time you will. I'll respond to you. I'll respond to you. So, one more thing. There's one more thing. For those people who have been telling me, they have been asking me about the strategy. What strategy? When do I need to use the strategy? The strategy works every morning. Every morning, and you have to follow the rules strictly. Make sure there is no news. Then go straight and follow the rules strictly. Go straight, pull your trigger, and you'll be smiling to the bank. Be smiling to the bank every day. You'll be smiling to the bank. Okay, one question. Shoot, Sanchez. I'm listening. Shoot, shoot. Can you explain the check the news rule? Okay. The check the news rule is it is between 2 hours of the 9 a.m. candle or all day or have the ATC. Okay, I understand your question. Okay. Most times GBP there's most times there's news by 10:30. I don't know if there's anyone that has noticed that. To check my news, I use Forex Factory sometimes, though I still have my FX book chat, my FX book application on my phone. But for this example, let's use Forex Factory. Let's use Forex Factory. It's an example. Okay. Now let's take for instance. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to previous days and see if there's a day we wouldn't have traded. No. That's true. So this day is free. Most times it happens on Wednesday. I've noticed that thing. It happens on Wednesdays. It happens on Wednesday. It happens on Wednesdays. All right. Okay. Here's it. Yeah. On March 5, what happened? Remember, this strategy works by 9 a.m. my time. So I actually set these settings to work with my time. So this is my current time. Just as you can see right here, this is 8 minutes past 10. And that's the exact time on my laptop, 9 past 10. This is it. So it's pretty much the same thing. So, and the strategy works 9 a.m. candle Nigeria time. So once there is news by 10:30, so probably by that time the market would not have space to breathe, wouldn't have space to breathe or do the prediction you have said is going to do. So this is red news, this PMI news, sometimes CCI news, and so don't trade for this day. Don't trade for this day. You might just take your might just trigger your entry and go hit your stop loss. Or you know how news do. You know how news time. You know how market move. It moves so crazily, and so don't trade this news. Don't trade. Not for the whole day. So if this news has passed, then the strategy is probably gone. It's no longer valid because it happened 9 a.m. candle. So for that particular day, do not use London breakout strategy. Do not use London breakout strategy. That's it. That's it. Hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, type Y on the chat box. Y on the chat box. That making sense. Type Y on chat box. Okay, I have more questions now. I have more questions to attend to. Okay. So if news is 10 a.m., it's okay to trade. News at 11 a.m. safe to trade. News at 2 p.m. safe to trade. What if red folders at 3 p.m.? Is it okay or no? No, it is not okay to. If the news is 10 a.m. my time, that is I don't know, time might just be a little bit of a challenge now. If it's 10 a.m. my time, I'm using GMT plus one. What's the issue, Bobby? You can ask your question. Just drop your question before the session ends. Or you can ask me privately. I will explain that to you. No problem. Your success is my inspiration. I want everyone to succeed with this strategy. Okay, you said UPM. Good, good. So you said if there is news after 9 a.m. GMT or 8 a.m. UTC time or 3 a.m. Eastern, do not trade for that. Do not use this strategy for that day. If there is news, let's make it simple. Let's make it simple that way. If there is news 9 a.m., 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m., do not use this strategy for that day. Do not use this strategy for that day. Except the news is far, 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 far. Like when it's around 3 p.m., you can still use it because you can still get your order can get triggered and get little profit, but be very careful. Get out of the trade 15 minutes. If your order have not been, your TP has not been hit, get out of the trade 15 minutes before the news time. Hope that makes sense. That makes sense. Type it on the chat box. Just believe it's making sense, and that helps too. Oh, okay. That's it. That's it. All right. Have a nice time. You guys should know that trading sometimes can be funny. It can be funny. One thing you should know, you shouldn't risk what you cannot afford to lose. You don't risk all your money because you know this strategy works so well. You have seen Jeff pull out more than $600 with this strategy every day. So you want to put all your investment and do that. No, use a recommended list. First, you have to demo the strategy for 1 week and be consistent with it. Within that 1 week, if you not still find consistency, take another 1 week challenge. Go with it again. Try to demo until you are consistent with your profit before you go live. That was what I did. I did the strategy for a whole good 3 months. So just last month I started putting this strategy on my life. Okay, 9 a.m. candle, you set your buy stop above the 9 a.m. candle. Yes, yes. Everything happened on the 9 a.m. candle. Those analysis happen on the 9 a.m. candle. All right, Marco, I'll see you. I'm super excited. I'll be super excited to see your result tomorrow. I'll be super excited. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys are welcome. There's one thing I want to drop with you. You have to develop a methodology and stick with it. Don't change your methodologies from day to day. Do not see one strategy, see it's making sense, so you have to leave the current one you are working on and go that. No, no, no. You have to settle on one and be focused with it. Be focused with it. What I do, I require all my students, those that buy my indicator. I have an indicator class. If you're interested, you can PM me. I'm going to explain to you. It works with harmonics, and Elliott wave pattern. It is very simple. But what I used to tell them, I make them to open a demo account, to stick with that particular strategy, and they must place their order. They must place their order with a recommended stop loss. They must place their order with recommended stop loss. And I don't really necessarily care what the methodology they use is, but they should keep on using that particular strategy on and on. If you have a proven methodology, but it doesn't seem to be working a given trade session, don't go home that night and try to devise another one. If your methodology works more than one half of the trading session, then stick with it. Like this one, it works every morning, because maybe for a whole week there's news, so you're not allowed to trade this strategy. Don't go about looking for another strategy. Yeah, you might just get your fingers burnt. That is what banks and hedges, those guys, the big guys in the United States, big guys in the UK, big guys all over the world, in Europe or wherever in Africa, that's what they do. They stick to one particular strategy. If they are working with harmonics and Elliott wave theory, that is what they do. So you stick with one particular strategy. I have a friend who plays with 10,000, who plays with 10 standard lots. I still go with one standard lot. He does 10 standard lots. So imagine that. I hope it that some amount of money is gonna. He does this strategy, London Breakout Strategy. That's what he do. So stick with one strategy. It's only for London session in the morning, 9 a.m. All right. This strategy only works. Someone is asking, this strategy is only for London session, right? Yes. Not just London section, 9 a.m. in Nigeria time. I think this person is a Nigerian person, or maybe a Ghanaian. I don't know. It works 9 with 9 a.m. candle. Yeah. Thank you. Stick with one strategy, perfect the strategy, work demo until you gain consistency, and share your result. Always share your result. Whenever, even if it's a red, share it. Let's see what is not working well, then we can make amendments. I'm always working behind the scene. So make sure everything we all get consistent. Thank you. Peace out. If there's any question, you can ask me. I'm Jeffrey Benson once again. You can join my Telegram group. You can recommend it to friends. I don't think it's harmful to help one. Yeah, since helping another not tapping our success. So